Congratulations, friends. You have decluttered and you never, ever, ever have to declutter ever again in your entire life. You're done. You don't ever have to touch it ever again.
Hey, so that's not really how this works.
No, we've decluttered everything. Like, we don't have to declutter anything ever again. It's done. We're good.
Decluttering is kind of like a lifelong process. I know everything feels like fully decluttered, but like life happens and it's kind of something you just keep doing.
Everything has a place. Like, there's really nothing else to declutter. I don't understand what you're saying. What else? Like, you're good. You've done it once. You don't have to do it again.
Right. But like, we're always buying things. Houses aren't just like a static being. They're lived in and, loved, and things come in and things go out, and it's just kind of like the way of life.
The big declutter is done. The storage unit is done. The downsizing from the 3-bedroom, 2-bath to this apartment is done. Like, that should be good, right? I should be good for a long time.
I think what phase we're in right now is called maintenance phase.
Maintenance?
Yeah.
Maintenance, huh?
We can definitely dive into that.
Okay. I really got their hopes up, I think.
You really got their hopes up there. Yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
I'm sorry. She doesn't know. It's okay. It's okay.
I guess let's talk about the maintenance phase. Sorry, I got your hopes up. That is right, friends. We are going to be lifelong declutterers because, like I said, houses are like a living being. They have flow and income and output, and there's a lot that happens. So we're always going to be decluttering. So let's get into the nitty gritty of what maintenance phase is. I think the first thing is, like, how do you know you're in maintenance phase? I feel like I could have been in this phase like maybe 4 or 5 months ago, but I actually feel like I'm currently in it right now because I look around and I don't see any like major problem spots. I don't see anything that needs decluttered immediately for it to function, or I don't have any big projects in the apartment. It all feels like it flows well. So if you're kind of at a spot where it flows well, you feel good, maybe you do have a few projects that you want to, put on the back burner, you can still be in this maintenance phase. So what the heck even is maintenance phase? In my opinion, it's like weight loss. Okay, I'm going to use the example of weight loss. So you start off at this weight, you've lost a lot of weight, you're here, you feel good, and you want to maintain this weight. Same thing with decluttering. You started here decluttering, you've gotten rid of all of this stuff, you feel good right here, and you want to maintain this. That is when you're in maintenance phase. That to me is what maintenance phase is. That's a very hard word to continue to say. Maintenance. So there it is. That's the video. You know what it is now. I'm just kidding. Okay, so here is my take or my plan on how to maintain this. I need to count how many times I say that word because it's already driving me nuts. So I think the first thing we have to do is determine, and you've probably already determined this. This is probably already something you've done, you've gone through, you know already. Determine why the clutter started in the first place. There are literally hundreds of reasons that this could be, okay? I want you to pick the top 4. We'll go with 4. Top 4 issues of why this started. Okay, do you want to hear mine? I feel like these first 2 can go for 90% of us, okay? Say it with me. It's 2 C's, C and C. Capitalism and consumerism. Those are, I think, the main reasons why most of us get stuck in this clutter cycle. I'll go more into that in just a second. My third one is, I don't want to say mental health as a broad spectrum. I want to specifically hone in on like my ADHD. Okay, my ADHD inhibits me from doing a lot of stuff. A lot of the day-to-day routine kind of things, my ADHD sucks at. Okay, so I really have to work at those things. When I do work on those things, it helps a lot. My fourth thing, and I think a lot of people can also relate to this, is trauma. Childhood trauma, adulthood trauma, just trauma from living on this earth in the last 30 plus years. I don't know. Okay, just trauma. I'm sure a lot of you guys can at least relate to some of these things that I have going on. Now, there are many other things, okay? You can have chronic illness, you can have a physical disability, you can have family issues that you really can't control, right? So again, like I said, the list is long, and I'm not going to like hit every reason that you could have clutter and how this kind of started. But I do think it's important to do the work and realize like, okay, these top 4 things are why. So let's work on implementing things to keep this at bay again. Which, if you've come this far in decluttering, I think it happens naturally, right? I think we find out a lot about ourselves during this process, and I think we start to hone in on these things, but it's good to actually think about it and sit with it. So for capitalism and consumerism, this hits all of us, every single one of us. We are constantly getting ads thrown at our face to buy things. We're constantly getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper products so that we can buy more and more things. It's the way the system was designed, and it works extremely well. Extremely well. So then we just become consumers, and we consume. And I think this kind of plays into ADHD as well. For me, I get a lot of dopamine dings from ordering things online, from buying these, things and new hobbies and right? It all works together. While I was decluttering, I realized that I had spent so much money on stuff that I literally just donated. Like, I don't give a lot of thought to that, because in the moment, that's what helped me. And I'm going to forgive my past self for doing that, because she didn't know any better. But my future self and I, we can do better because now we know better. It really changes your shopping and your spending habits when you declutter so much. You're like, I never want to have to deal with that much stuff again. And a lot of you guys have said that you picture a place for it in your home, and if it doesn't have a place, you don't need it. And I do this a lot when I'm thrifting, because I can easily over consume when thrifting. So that is something I play over and over again in my head when I'm thrifting. There's also another technique that I use, and this is helpful for my other ADHD friends who get hyperfixated on things and need the little dopamine ding to buy things, is if you want something, you write it down, put it in your little notes app, put it on a piece of paper, I don't care. Don't think about it for 3 days. Look at it again. If you still want it, go ahead and make the purchase. Okay, you gave yourself time to think about it. You still want it. If it's a larger purchase, wait at least a week. Okay? And what this does is I forget about it. I will say 98% of the time, I forget about it. And then I look at my notes app and I'm like, what even is that? What am I even I don't even know what that is. So I think they call it slow shopping. So kind of doing that to get the adrenaline and dopamine out of the purchase has really helped me a lot. Because if you think about how much stuff you have coming into your home and how much stuff you're taking out of it, most of the time you have more going in than you do coming out. We're at this point where you have gotten so much out of the home, we want to trickle in what we bring back in, right? And be very intentional about it. It's also really helpful when companies decide to support inhumane activities that don't align with your morals and you just cut them off. Friends, I'm editing this video and I completely skipped over going over the ADHD and trauma part of the reasons why clutter kind of came about. Okay, so let's talk about the ADHD. I already talked about routines and stuff don't work for me. So I don't have routines, things pile up. That's one reason clutter gets in there, right? But my house doesn't work for me. I try to fit into these social norms of what organizing should look like, what your house should look like. And I think when we get into that, we set up systems that don't work for us. So one thing I wanted to say about ADHD was that you need to make your house work for you. And I think that I'm going to say the clutter bug here again, finding your organizing system is going to be really, really helpful, because that's been really helpful for me. I feel like we kind of all already gravitate naturally towards our natural organizing pattern, but then society tells us that's not what we're supposed to do. So then we try to fall back on the normal systems. So finding your clutter bug organizing style and making your home work for your ADHD or your specific mental issue. It might not be what everybody else does, but if it works for you, then do it. I can't believe I forgot to even talk about trauma. How did I forget to freaking talk about trauma? So when I was going through all of my decluttering and stuff, I brought up so much trauma. I brought up trauma at every single turn. Every single box I picked up, it seemed like I was rifling through trauma, okay? But that's one of the main reasons I kept it all, because one, I didn't want to go through the trauma again. I didn't want to relive it. I was not in the mental space to do that. But that's also the reason I was keeping
so much stuff because it was sentimental. My trauma was mine. That was my thing. I had it. And if I got rid of all of that stuff, I got rid of the trauma. And that's not how this works, okay? My trauma is still very much with me, even though the stuff isn't there. I still remember my trauma. I don't know why I was afraid of like forgetting it. Like that would be such a terrible thing. But I think we kind of hold on to these physical objects because we can, they're tactile, they're there, we can see them. And letting go of them means that we're letting go of our past. And it's a beautiful thing. It's fantastic. And it helped me work through a lot of it, but it doesn't negate my past just because I don't have that stuff that's linked with my trauma. So that's another reason I think a lot of us keep too much stuff.
How do we maintain what's already in here and what we've already accomplished? Here's my plan. So if you guys haven't seen this video, go watch it. It's fantastic. And I have continued to use these methods to this day. I said earlier, my ADHD does not thrive on routine. And it doesn't. It really does not. I cannot have a piece of paper tell me what to do every single day or what to do when I get home because my weeks are completely unpredictable, okay? So I need something that's really flexible and works for me. And what I've been doing is I've just been setting a 15-minute timer right when I get home. And it's outside of like cooking dinner and like the normal things I would be doing, I guess. So I come home before I even sit down, before I even doom scroll, I set a 15-minute timer, or I go to whatever room I'm cleaning in and I do the 5 things tidying method. Sometimes it's both, sometimes it's one or the other. It just completely depends on the evening. And there are evenings I'm like, all I can do is make dinner. Or all I can do is pull out leftovers and then shower, and that's it, You really have to tailor it to yourself to make it work and make it stick. But what I like the most about doing the daily routines is that it helps me notice what I've decluttered. It helps keep the house picked up, and it helps me realize that, 95% of these things had a home. I've done a very good job decluttering, and the other 5% of things, most of the time, I can either get rid of it, make a home for it, or toss it. So like one of me said earlier, right? We are always decluttering for life, okay? And that sounds a little daunting, okay? You're not always going to be decluttering huge amounts of things. But I think that reevaluating your situation every so often, so like spring cleaning is coming up next. You can write down some things that you just want to look at and reevaluate, right? It doesn't have to be a huge project because we've already done the huge projects. It's just maintaining it, going through it. Maybe you see it with fresh eyes now that you've gotten rid of, a lot of other stuff. You're like, maybe I don't need this. Or you're like, hey, let's keep that. For me, myself, and I'm about to do a reevaluation of my kitchen. And I have lived here for I would say 2 years, but I think it's been like a solid year since I've gone through like the deep cabinets of my kitchen. So even just like going through things yearly, just kind of freshening up and making sure, like checking in with yourself, making sure that this is something you still want to take up space in your home. I think it's really helpful to look at things in your home and think, is this an item I want to manage? Because you essentially are managing it. That always has really helped me kind of be like, I don't really want to take my time to manage this. Or this is worth my time to manage. We're not always going to have these giant declutters, but we're always going to have to be keeping on top of the mess so that we don't get back to where we were before. And if we do get back to where we were before, we're going to give ourselves grace about it because clearly life happens. So friends, where are you at in your decluttering journey? Are you in this kind of maintenance phase? Are you still deep in the trenches? I want to know what your thoughts are in the comments. Let me know how you maintain your household. I am new to maintenance phase, so maybe you've been maintaining for a lot longer than I have. Give me all your tips and tricks, and I hope this video helped you on your journey of decluttering. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.